everyone, welcome. This is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is women and cultural values. Stay tuned with us, we will soon be back. Culture is a way of life. In fact, the total way of life of a people. Its values hold the society together and dictate the ethics, the morality, the decency, the dignity, in fact, the heritage of a nation. Have we lost something? Is it not clear now that cultural values are in jeopardy in our nation with all the disorders we are witnessing? What are women saying as custodians of family values and cultural values about the apparent loss, increasing loss of cultural values that will make for national development? Please join us as we go into an excursion into cultural values in this episode. You will get to hear from the experts. I am Dr. Violet Arene. Hello there, welcome back. If you are just joining us for the first time, this is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is women and cultural values. The question is, if we lose our cultural identity, what else do we have? We have with us, it's our privilege to have her, one of the most distinguished Nigerian ladies, who is in a position to know from her experience, life experience and work experience, what we are talking about. Her name is Mrs. Oretayo Adetola, a social organizational leader in one of the biggest organizational situations I know of, who comes in contact with so much, who should know, and who has lived through this life, and she's really experienced. One time a politician, a member of the Constituent Assembly. Madam, it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
The job we have on hand is quite sensitive. Today in our country, it does not look as if children and youth know what is right and wrong anymore. In the same manner, they don't even know what our cultural identity is. Is this your impression?
Rightly so. They cannot know what is wrong and right except they are being taught. And in the situation where they find themselves, they are suffering from what I will, for want of a better word, call cultural conflict. In Nigeria here, they don't know whether they are Nigerians, British, or American, and it's the same all over the world. Because we have not taught them who they are and how they should carry on. They find themselves in a situation that we, their parents, who are supposed to let them know what is right and wrong, either we have forgotten what is right and wrong, or we have come to accept what is at the expense of what is right and wrong. Now, in the good old days in Nigeria, children were taught what our culture is. Our culture is our way of life. They are taught how to relate to people, how to talk to people, how to comport themselves, how to carry on both inside and outside of the family. And all these things were things that we systematically teach, either by telling them or by modeling it for them to see. But these days, it's no more. They find themselves in some cultures, and they tell you that if you correct your child or talk too harshly to your child, it's child abuse. You can't spank your child. You can't stop your child going where they want to go. A 15-year-old girl dressed up half naked and is going out, you can't tell them that it's not okay. So they are confused. They don't know what is wrong and what is right. And this is because we did not teach it to them at the very beginning. If they are born in America or they are born in the UK, let them know from the outset that this is UK, all right? These are the things that are good here that you can copy. These are the things that is acceptable where we come from. So they know from the word go what is expected of them. But most of the time they don't know. And it's really not their fault, it's the fault of the parents.
The fault of the parents. Well, that reminds me. We used to have what we deemed as taboos in the olden days. That's where those forbidden things that people were not supposed ever to be associated with, like incest, rape, even homosexuality, and so on and so forth. Bloodshed, stealing, they were all taboos. And families that did those things were almost ostracized. And for generations, they were paying for it. How do you see things today? Is there anything we can call a taboo in Nigeria today?
I want to categorically tell you that they are still taboos. Okay. It's just that we don't observe them anymore. I would be an ostrich burying my head in the sand if I say these things did not exist in the traditional society. There was incest. Don't let us go into the details. They had a lot of reasons why the father would sleep with the child. But these days we have brothers sleeping with their sisters, uncles, aunties, doing all kinds of things. So it's not that it's not taboo. It is because we have, can I find the wrong word? We have gotten so accustomed to it because people do them blatantly now. We think they are no longer taboo, but they are still taboo. You were forbidden in the traditional society to practice incest. I think there were even curses attached to it.
Curses, yes.
But now, people do it and they seem to be getting away with it, but that's another question. But these things are still taboo. They are still wrong. We know that they are still wrong, but the permissiveness of the society has made it easier for the people who practice them. So, and it's also affecting not only us but our children, because some of them are beginning to think that these things are okay. Homosexuality, for example, lesbianism, for example, they are beginning to think that it is all right, but it is not. It is our attitude to it that is giving them the wrong signal. They must be told that these things are taboos and they must remain taboos.
Traditional taboos.
They are traditionally.
I don't think we should. You think we should fling away our culture like the baby and the bathwater?
But that's what we have been doing.
Yes.
What I want to counsel, what I want to advise is that it's better late than never. We may think that we have been far gone in all of this mess, in all of this rubbish, and we cannot come back, but we can.
We can.
If we start all over again to instill into our children what is wrong and what is right by the things we say and also by the things we do,
yes,
they will begin to learn the right culture, the right attitude, the right way of living. But if we think, okay, everything has gone haywire and there's nothing we can do about it, that is a defeatist attitude. We should stop where we are, take the bull by the horn, and be willing to start again. That's what I'm advising. Parents should face their responsibility, begin again to guide their children in the right path.
Thank you very much. You know, we do have a lot of problems with marriage. And there was a cultural value for marriage. I recall, girls were prepared for marriage in those days. What is happening today? Preparation before marriage for a girl, and also for a boy.
Preparation is the word.
Yes.
They were deliberately prepared for marriage.
Yes.
Even from their homes, the way their parents related one to the other, they are taught what to do and what not to do. From beginning to end, it was laid out before them what was acceptable and what was not acceptable. But again, these days, and I want to concede it to the people who are not as educated as we think we are, in quotes. Those people, where I come from in my village, they are still bringing up their children properly. They are still telling them how to relate to their husbands, how to relate to their in-laws, how to relate to their neighbors, what they can do and what they cannot do. But we, the so-called educated people, we have abandoned our responsibility even from the cradle. We think we are educated, sophisticated, and we have it all going for us. And that is what has ruined most of the children that we have brought up. We abandon them to nannies, we abandon them in the creche, we abandon them everywhere. We do not teach them what is wrong and what is right. So, At home, we have cooks, we have stewards, we have house helps, we have nannies who do all the work. So we give our children the impression that they were created to be served. They don't even have an idea what they are supposed to be doing, even in their own home, let alone what they are supposed to be doing when they are married. Some of them get married, they don't know how to boil an egg. We marry them in exotic ceremonies, give them brand new cars and all the rest of it. All the luxuries that will make life comfortable for them. But the one thing that they need, home training.
We seem to have lost respect for elders. At least, as an elder myself, I do experience some things that should not happen. What do you see? Courtesy, politeness, deference to elders. Even the way we talk to people. Respect for authority. Have we not lost them?
It is the same problem that we have of not doing what we are supposed to do from scratch. Where I was brought up, when you wake up in the morning, you needed to go and say good morning to the elders of the house. If you were a girl, you knelt down to do that. If you are a boy, you prostrated to do that. You don't argue with your elders when they were talking. It was not that children didn't have an opinion of their own, but they were told that children were seen and not heard. That could have its negative effect, but it had a lot of positive effect. Because these days, the mother is talking, the daughter is talking, the father is talking, the son is talking, and it creates a whole lot of problem. They don't know how to relate to elders. That must stop again by going back to our foundation and bringing them up properly. In my own culture, if you were holding something and a child accosted you, she took that thing from you. Today, they will pass by your side and let you go with your load. That is unacceptable.
So you agree with me that our future is in jeopardy if we indeed encourage the increasing loss of our cultural values.
Increasing lawlessness.
And lawlessness. And in fact, loss of identity. Let's put it that way. We are totally disoriented. We are like bats. We're
neither black nor
whites, and we are not Americans. We are not British. We are not Europeans.
So we need to
and
stop.
We are not Africans anymore.
We need to stop.
Yes, we need to stop
and begin now to reteach what is acceptable in this society.
Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the Voice of Eve. Our topic today is women and cultural values. And we are privileged to have with us in the studio today some cultural advocates to help us to unravel some of the issues. I have here Mrs. Chinenye Ndefo, a banker, a social counselor, and a cultural advocate. You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mrs. Tochi Okpara, a counselor, a barrister at law, and a cultural advocate.
Thank you very much.
You are both welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you here. And women are sensitive about culture. And we really have to delve into some of the critical issues. What are the cultural losses? Or let's put it this way, what are the losses we have in our cultural values which you regret most today?
Thank you, ma'am. There are a lot of them, but maybe I have to start with one or two, particularly concerning the families. Those days when culture was respected, when a woman is getting married or a young girl is getting married, there are certain preparations that are made that we make her to know that she's entering into a serious affair, not boyfriend, girlfriend. One of them is the girl has to be separated to a place where she'll be cultured, where she will be given an orientation about marriage. Another one is we are fast losing our cultural dresses. Everybody on the street is dressing Western, and it doesn't tell a good story about our culture.
These are your greatest two?
Yes.
Mrs. Tochi, which one is your greatest loss
I'll take it from the loss of parental control and authority. We grew up in homes where the parents had the first word and the last word, as it were. You knew your place as a child, you knew your roles, you knew what you were supposed to do, etiquette and all. Today, I don't know what the reasons. Well, the reasons are plenty.
Yes.
You have the parents, both parents working.
Okay.
Before the children even open their eyes in the morning, the parents are out. So you have a situation where parental authority is outsourced. And the quality of the person managing this outsourcing, very doubtful.
Thank you.
Very doubtful.
So that is your greatest loss.
Yes.
Well, we are coming to them. That means we have actually lost.
We have.
We have lost.
We have.
I think all Nigerians should know that we have lost a lot of cultural values which are salutary and could have helped our societies. Well, are there still social taboos today? In the olden days, there were taboos, like incest was a taboo, rape was a taboo, stealing was a taboo, and you name it, robbery, taboo. Do you still see any taboos today?
Not really. We have heard stories of brother sleeping with sister, father sleeping with daughter, and not much is done about it. People will just look at it and frown and pass. No corrective measures. There are so many of them now. Disregard to what we used to term taboo. It's like nothing to anybody anymore.
So there's nothing forbidden anymore?
Nothing forbidden, anything goes.
Mrs. Okwela, is that what you see?
Yes, I think we have been desensitized. It happens ever so often. And people have become indifferent. Oh, just another story. And people just, and probably because our law enforcement machinery isn't so sharp. And so the chances are that it gets lost in the system. One happens, oh, there's a hue and cry, everybody complains about it. After a while, it just goes away. Another one comes up. So people are not really sensitive about such things anymore. What that does not in any way reduce the gravity of what is going on.
Nor the consequences.
Nor the consequences. I think it's a matter of sanity. Those days, there were no law enforcement as such. It was a village thing. Yet people obeyed. You know, people knew what was right and what was wrong. And they kept to them. I would say to that, the village had its own system of dealing with abnormal behavior. Take, for example, they banished you, they ostracized you. They will say, oh, that family, they are thieves. They didn't need it to do more than that. No marriage there, no interaction. So that was the societal mechanism then of dealing with abnormal behavior. Today, even though we have a more established and entrenched system, I cannot say with certainty how effective it is. So that's what I think.
What about bloodshed? How was it taken in the past, in the traditional society?
We can even go down to this popular book of our brother Chinua Achebe.
Yes.
Things Fall Apart. You remember the